Anthony Hartwig here with a Poland girls basketball player profile. I am joined by Brooke Rowe. Brooke, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
So I think when people know your story, the first question they all want to know is all the adversity that you've kind of faced over your high school career, the knee injuries. How have you kind of kept going through all of it and kept coming back to basketball?
I mean, honestly, it's been my faith that has really kept me through this. I mean, having God on my side and having my church behind me and all my church family, they've been there for me through everything. And honestly, without God, I wouldn't have be where I'm at right now.
Through all of it, what was the thing that made you want to keep coming back to basketball and keep wanting to kind of put yourself on the court?
I mean, honestly, just for my girls and the rest of the girls on my team, just seeing them and how hard they work, I wanted to get back and be able to help them out. And the rest of my seniors in my class, I just wanted to be there with them.
And now here you are, your senior year. What's it mean to you that you are able to be back on the floor your senior year and you're able to share this senior year with all of your senior classmates?
It has been the best experience, honestly. I mean, I love that I get to be a part of it in a different way, and I love being able to contribute and do my part.
How hard has it been to kind of get back into a basketball rhythm and trying to find your stride since the last three seasons have kind of been hit and miss and you've been cut short three times in a row?
I mean, it's been difficult at times, not being exactly the same player I used to be. However, I just have to tell myself that it's better than being on the bench. It's better than injured, and just got to take it one step at a time.
W- Yeah, like you said, it's better than being on the bench. But back when you were on the bench, one of the things that was always awesome is this the energy you brought this team. Where do you think that comes from? The ability to really bring this team energy, even probably on your hard days when you wished more than anything that you could be out there yourself.
I mean, honestly, those girls, the upperclassmen, when I was younger, they were always there for me. They would always come to my house and they always brought me cards after my surgery. So I just wanted to be able to give back to them and cheer them on, just like they were cheering me on.
How much have those seniors that you grew up with impacted the kind of senior you are now?
Oh, I mean, they're the biggest impact on me. I wanted to be every bit of what they were. They are what made our team such a family atmosphere. Everyone knows that Poland is just like a big family, and I just wanted to continue that for them.
I know there are so many of them, and it might be hard to pick one or two. But if you had to pick one or two of the seniors of the past that really just, are in the front of your mind when you think of leadership and you think of girls that really taught you how to lead, what are the names that come to mind?
The biggest two names for me would probably be Kaylin Brown and Ella Harrell. My freshman year, Kaylin was a senior and Ella was a junior, and they were both there for me throughout everything. As a freshman, I went to Barberton with them, which is a pretty big deal, and they were always there to help me calm down my nerves and just tell me to, do my best. And that's who honestly I looked up to the most.
How hungry is this team to get back to a regional? Obviously, it wouldn't be at Barberton this year with you guys in a new division, but to get back to those regionals where you guys were at the last couple of years.
Oh, we're hungry. We're doing the best we can. We're grinding every day in practice, and this team has a lot of fire, and we want to show everyone what we're made of.
I feel like all the preseason, everyone has their opinion on what the league's gonna look like, and
Mhm.
it feels like this team just let it steam a little bit. Just let everyone have their own opinions, and they kept it internal, and now they're letting it out. What motivated you guys throughout this whole NE8 season to go out and win all these league games?
I mean, we've seen what everyone said, we saw what everyone thought, and we just told ourselves, well, honestly, Coach Blanche is what's helped us the most. He's just told us, just go out and prove it. We don't need to say anything. How we play is going to speak for itself.
Coach Blanche obviously gets a lot of credit for where this basketball program is at. From your perspective, what does he bring to the table, and how has he been able to keep this whole program together throughout the years?
He is a fantastic coach, and honestly, just from me personally, he's always keeping in contact with the girls. Doesn't matter if you've graduated or if you're coming up. He's always trying to help you and get to know you, and he wants to know you on a personal level so that he can have that, have that rhythm with you, so that when you're on the team, that he's just always there for you. I don't even know what else to say. I think it speaks for itself. Like everybody knows that Blanche has always got your back, and he'll always be there for you.
People don't know him, he can be intimidating, right? Because he's a big guy,
Yeah.
he's got a loud voice. What were some of your first impressions of Coach Blanche when you first met him?
I was a little intimidated. I mean, I am a shorter person, so he was very tall and very loud. But he is like a big teddy bear. He is the nicest person, and he has such a good heart.
Obviously we've been to practices, back pre-COVID, and we've seen him in his action. What is one thing about Coach Blanche that maybe people don't see on the sidelines that you think people should know about him?
He's honestly always just looking at what's best for us personally, and especially for me being injured, he's always making sure that I feel comfortable, and he just wants to make every player feel comfortable on the court. And if you don't feel comfortable, he'll take you out. He's always willing to help, and that's just one thing that I think most people don't realize is that he wants to help us.
As we talk about you coming back from those injuries and you getting back on the floor this year and being on the floor the whole season, I imagine that confidence has been something that you've had to really build. How has that been for you? How have you built your confidence this year and your ability not just to score, but your ability to move on those knees and your ability to know that you're going to be safe out there?
Honestly, a lot that's helped my confidence is just looking back at where I came from because I videotaped like my entire journey and just looking at watching myself relearn how to walk and seeing where I'm at now. It just showed myself how much I'm capable of doing and that I can just keep pushing all the rest of the way for the senior season.
When people come off of injuries like that, they always talk about the mental block that there is at the first to kind of trust your own body, to trust that you're not going to go out and get hurt again. What was that like for you to kind of get past that mental block?
Honestly, for me, my first injury happened in soccer, so it was a lot harder. I feel going back to soccer my sophomore year because the turf and everything like that. But then when I tore my ACL in basketball, it wasn't as dramatic of a situation. It kind of just like snapped. I didn't like get hit or anything like that. So for me, it's just been not thinking about it. You just have to not think about it, and sometimes that can be hard. But you just got to pretend that nothing ever happened, really.
Most players don't have to go through that kind of adversity throughout their career like you have. So, what kind of advice do you give to the younger players that maybe that hopefully they'll never have to go through what you went through, but if they do have to go through any kind of adversity, what kind of advice do you give them?
Just keep pushing. Always believe in yourself and find people that are surrounding you that help you believe in yourself. And even when it seems hard, you just have to keep going because the sun always comes out. And even when it's hard, and you just got to keep going, it'll get better.
We've talked about your teammates that have had you back, teammates in the present, teammates in the past. Who are some people outside the basketball team that you think have really pushed you in this journey and that you wouldn't have been able to get through it without?
Honestly, the main person who's helped me the most has probably been my mom. She's been there for me for everything through the terrible and through the best, and she's always cheering me on. Even when I've had bad games, she's always been the one to be there and be like, "Just remember where you started. Just remember where you started." And I could not have done it without her.
I imagine watching your kid get hurt like that has got to be just the worst thing about it. Were there ever conversations about, hey, do you really want to go back to playing sports after all this? Were there ever that kind of conversation with your parents about like, hey, let's just count our blessings at three and call it a day?
Yes, my parents were a little hesitant about me playing again after it happened, but again, they've just always been by my side and they're always cheering me on. So if it's what I wanted to do, then they believe that I could get back and do what I wanted to do.
All right, so we've talked a lot about basketball, but also you're an athlete at Poland. You're an academic. You're a scholar at Poland as well. What has it been like going through all this while trying to keep up with school as well?
It can be difficult. Honestly, I feel like I've been in that aspect. My junior year was probably my hardest year of school when I was injured for half the season, so it wasn't as difficult. But this year, with it being my senior year and trying, pick colleges and stuff like that, it's been a little difficult. But at the same time, Coach Blanche, he always leaves us so much off time to be able to keep up on our studies, and he's always pushing us to keep up on our studies, and he checks our grades, and it just helps us to be able to, stay on that track.
All right, so when I ask athletes about subjects, I start with the one that they like the most. So, what subject have you liked the most over your high school career?
I'm an English type of girl. I love to read. I love to write. I'm always English.
On the flip side, what subject have you had to work the hardest at and has given you kind of the most trouble throughout your schooling career?
I would say, honestly, math has been my hardest. However, I've had two basketball coaches that have been my teachers throughout the year. Coach Grisdale was my math teacher my freshman year, and then Coach Diamond was my math teacher last year. They've both been able to help me so much.
There's so many parts of math. What's the one that really caught you up? Was it geometry? Was it algebra?
Geometry, that was the one.
That was the one. Was that the one that you had Coach Diamond for too?
Yeah.
Well, they had all worked out then.
Yes.
Um, Obviously, we talk about Coach Blanche. I do want to talk about Coach Diamond and the rest of the staff because they bring stuff to the table too. and it's a new coaching staff this year. You lost a handful of coaches the last 2 years. What have these new coaches of the Poland program brought to the table on your perspective?
I mean, honestly, the biggest coach for me has been Coach Bella, because for me, when I was younger, she was playing for Poland, and she was one of the people I looked up to the most as a fifth, sixth grader, watching her throughout her career. She was an amazing basketball player. So now to have her as a coach, it's been so amazing because she's just taught me so much, even with it being only 1 year.
What has that been like, just to be able to pick her brain about basketball this year and be able to ask her what she did in this situation and stuff like that?
I mean, she's the most helpful on the sideline for a guard, because when we're in those situations where we're playing a team that's taller than us, because we're a pretty short team, she was a short girl too. So she's helped us know how to break those traps, what moves to use, what not to do. And it's just been so amazing having her and her experience.
You guys have a lot of rivals at Poland. Which one is the team that you circle the most and you get the most excited to play on your schedule?
I would say Struthers has been our most favorite to play this year, just because they were out for blood and they wanted to beat us, and we wanted to beat them. And I think that that was our biggest rival for this year, in my opinion.
All right, now I'm going to ask, obviously Poland's got to be your favorite gym. It's your home. What's the favorite gym to travel to? Is there a favorite road trip that you guys have?
I would say my favorite gym to play out actually is Struthers. I think it's very similar to Poland's, and it's what we're going to be playing on for the tournament, hopefully. So it's nice that that's the gym that we got.
And you guys get such great community support when you are home. What's that mean to you guys, that Poland is a community that backs their girls' sports and puts people in the seats and cheers you guys on?
Oh, it's been absolutely amazing this year. We've had the pep band at a lot of our games, and even when we just played Struthers away, we had a student section, and most girls teams don't get that. So to have our entire administration out trying to cheer us on and get people out at the game, it was amazing having so many fans here.
You had a great student section on Monday. What's your favorite sport to be a part of the student section for?
Oh, I love being at the student section for football games. Football games have been the best. Even if our team's not that great, we're all there. We're all cheering them on, just having a good time.
What's the favorite part of a Friday night, football atmosphere from your perspective?
I would say the best is just, dressing up the theme with your friends before the game, getting super excited, kind of living that high school experience.
What has been your favorite student section theme?
Probably our first game, which was construction. That was my favorite theme.
If you could make the theme for your next basketball game, hey, come out to the girls' game and let's have this theme. What theme do you think you haven't seen yet that would be cool?
Our team, I kind of want to do that thing where it's pretend YSN. I'm sure I've seen it on there.
Yes.
And it's like YSN. That's a cool theme in my opinion.
It better be YSN too.
YSN.
Don't want to see any ESPN stuff. This is going to be a fun question, because how much cartoons did you watch as a kid? That's the first question. Were you a cartoon person?
I was more of a Disney Channel type person.
Disney?
I did like Dora and stuff like that, like those. I was kind of into that.
Okay, so whatever you watched in your childhood, think back to your childhood shows, and I want to give your senior teammates, because you have other seniors on the team, give them each a personality that fits a fictional character from your childhood.
I mean, I would probably say that Ava Nickludis. She's probably like our Hannah Montana. She's always out there. She's outgoing. She's singing around. She's having a great time all the time. That's probably who I would say she is. I don't know. I guess Katie's like a Dora. She likes to go everywhere. She's always getting us in her car. We're going places. Katie's got a big family. She's got a big van. We're all always hopping in Katie's van, going somewhere, some type of crazy place. Sarah's probably a SpongeBob. He's just a crazy person. Sarah is just a crazy person, but we all love her so much. And then Ariana, I don't know. That's a hard one. I'd have to say Ariana's probably I don't even know if it's a fictional character that she's like.
She's her own thing.
Ariana is a fictional character. She's
go.
She's kind of in the same boat as Ava. She's kind of like a Hannah Montana. She's probably more of a Hannah Montana when she's not Hannah Montana.
So she's Miley and she's Hannah?
Yeah, Miley. She's more like our Miley. She's like our leader.
Awesome.
People. That's what I would say.
I can't leave you out either. So if you had to kind of give yourself a fictional character, who do you think you fit?
I'm probably an Olaf.
Okay.
I'm kind of quiet, but also I'm really crazy and really funny when you get to know me. I have my funny days where I'm like super, super. I have other days where like I'm not talking at all.
Oh man, that is great. And you play your best in the winter, just like Olaf does. So, um, Brooke, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to shout out your support system, all the people that have been there throughout your journey, and all the people that will continue to support you throughout it all.
Just want to thank my parents. They've been there for me through everything. I want to thank all of my coaches and my teammates and my fellow seniors. Obviously, want to thank God. He's been there for me since day one. And I would also like to thank my boyfriend for being there for me through everything.
All right, Brooke, thank you so much for the time. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the year, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Of course, thank you for having me.